There is a white powder in the baking aisle of every grocery store in America that removes oxidation from faded car paint in under 20 minutes. Less than $1 per application. No machine, no polishing compound, no clay bar, no professional charging you $400 for something you could have done before lunch. It lifts the chalky, dead layer of oxidized clear coat that makes a 10-year-old vehicle look 20 years older, restores color depth, brings back the gloss, every color, every time. Auto detailers know what this is. Body shop prep technicians know. The professional restoration industry built a commercial business around this substance in 1989, and the reason you are still paying a detailer, still driving past your dull hood every morning, is because that assumption is worth $12 billion a year to the industry that keeps it alive. Stay here. This is history, chemistry, and a method that works. Welcome to Forbidden Camping. Subscribe and hit the bell. Let me take you back to 1846, New York City. A physician named Dr. Austin Church and a farmer named John Dwight began packaging a white mineral compound out of Dwight's kitchen. Sodium bicarbonate had been isolated in Berlin in 1801. Dwight and Church were businessmen, not chemists. They understood this powder's properties were so broad that no American household could be without it. They sold it under the name Dwight's Saleratus. The Arm & Hammer trademark followed within 2 decades. By the late 1800s, that orange box was in nearly every American kitchen. For over a century, it moved through garages quietly. Shade tree mechanics used it by hand on painted surfaces to lift oxidation that nothing else could touch without scratching. The knowledge passed between people the way useful knowledge moves before a billion-dollar industry finds a reason to bury it. Then, in 1985, this powder's automotive story changed forever. And the catalyst was not a mechanic, it was the Statue of Liberty. Lady Liberty was undergoing her centennial restoration. Interior copper walls were coated in century-old coal tar that had to be stripped without damaging the copper. Traditional sandblasting was out. Silicon carbide, aluminum oxide, glass beads, steel grit. Every standard blasting medium carries a Mohs hardness between 5 and 9. Copper sits at 2.5. Any of those abrasives would have permanently scarred it. The engineers turned to Church and Dwight. Sodium bicarbonate sits at 2.5 on the Mohs scale. Softer than copper, softer than aluminum, softer than virtually any substrate worth preserving. When baking soda crystals impact a surface at velocity, they do not bounce. They shatter. The crystal microfragments on contact, releasing a burst that strips contamination without cutting the substrate. 100 tons of baking soda cleaned Lady Liberty's copper walls clean. The coal tar came off. The copper was untouched. By 1989, Church and Dwight partnered with Schmidt Manufacturing to launch Armex, the first commercially standardized sodium bicarbonate blasting medium. Soda blasting became standard in automotive restoration, aerospace cleaning, and classic car preparation. Professionals built businesses charging hundreds of dollars per hour using the exact same powder sitting next to the flour in your grocery store. The physics never changed. The chemistry never changed. Only the price tag changed. Here's the science that every detailing influencer with a sponsored compound link hopes you never calculate yourself. Every car built after the mid-1980s uses a 2-layer paint system, color coat beneath, clear coat on top, a transparent polymer resin that produces the gloss. When UV radiation, oxygen, and heat hit that clear coat daily, the UV breaks down the polymer chains. The binding oils evaporate. A smooth surface that once reflected light cleanly becomes microscopically fractured, scattering light in every direction. That scattering is what your eye reads as chalk and dullness. Scientists call it photooxidative degradation. You call it the car looking 10 years older than it should. In light to moderate oxidation, the damage is in the outermost few microns of clear coat only. Everything below is intact. The only job is removing that thin, dead layer. Baking soda's Mohs hardness of 2.5 is harder than the degraded, oxidized surface residue, but softer than the intact clear coat below it. The Statue of Liberty principle on your hood. The hardness differential removes exactly what needs to go and leaves everything else. Here is exactly what to do. Pick up a box of Arm & Hammer baking soda, $1, 1 microfiber cloth, water. That is the entire supply list. Wash and dry the vehicle completely first. Working any abrasive over a dirty surface drags grit across the clear coat. Non-negotiable. Mix baking soda and water into a thick paste, toothpaste consistency. Apply a coin-sized amount to a dampened microfiber cloth. Work the paste into the faded surface using firm circular motions across sections about 2 feet by 2 feet. You will see a gray or brownish residue on the cloth. That is the dead oxidation layer. That is exactly what is supposed to happen. Wipe the section clean with a damp cloth. Look at the surface. The color is deeper. The gloss has started to return. Light is hitting it differently. Repeat across every oxidized panel. Work section by section. Do not rush.